Welcome to the rest of my life. I'm Lance Ash. Oh my God, my neck's stiff. I don't know what I did to my neck. All right. Very good weekend. Very good. Got a painting done that I did not expect to get done. Oh my goodness. What's wrong with my neck? All right. Trying to get the mirrors. See if the mirrors are correctly placed. All right. Well, I really don't have any topics prepared, so I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but we'll come up with something. Yeah, it was a very good weekend. I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed home. I added the reverse curls back to my weights routine, but taking it easy, see what happens. I used to do reverse curls all the time, but then it seemed to exacerbate my problems I have with my left forearm elbow area. But then I noticed today that my triceps are small compared to what they used to be, so I added the reverse curls back. I'm driving through the main section of the town I live in and have lived in for 99% of my life, and I look around and it's hard to remember the way things were because they've added so much stuff, torn down houses and replaced them. It's kind of depressing. God, I really have nothing to say. If I don't think of something, I'm going to have to postpone the show. Oh my goodness. There's where the gym used to be. I don't know if it was the whole school or just the high school, but the high school for the area used to be right here. And when they tore it down, they left the gymnasium for, 50 years, I guess. And then a couple of years ago, they finally tore it down and replaced it with the new city hall, which is just a tin structure. It's just a piece of shit. The old gymnasium was a great big brick building, occupied mainly by a basketball court with wooden floors, and there was a stage at the far end. Below the stage was had been originally, I guess back in the 40s or something, maybe 30s even, was the area where the actors would get dressed, or where they'd keep the grease paint and stuff. And when I was a little bitty kid, they had a haunted house. Well, they had a Halloween celebration there, and they had a haunted house down in the basement area below the stage. And I always remember it. I have a vague memory of going down in there and being creeped out by it. For years and years and years, a lot of the stuff that they'd painted on the walls was still there. This has been probably 20 years ago now, but there was a band living down there for a while. Which reminds me, the next town over to ours is Winterville, and supposedly this is historical fact. The Butthole Surfers lived in Winterville for a while, back in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, and I remember an incident riding home on the bus one day, and this actually would have been closer to 84 84, I think. Maybe 85. No, 84 probably, really. And they were going through Winterville. There was a car that was off in the ditch, and there were two guys standing there looking at the car like, what are we going to do? And as the bus went by, all the kids turned to stare, and one of the guys, who in my memory looked like Gibby Haynes, jumped out in the road and flung a bird at the bus as it drove by. So maybe, you never know. I don't know where exactly in Winterville they lived. That's very odd, I think. Oh dear. I'm really at a loss of what to say. Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. I had to blow my nose. Now I'm passing by the Athens Fairgrounds. Bunch of, looks like mobile lights lined up out there. Wonder what that's all about. Every so often they'll have a fair there and carnival and shit. That reminds me, the life of a traveling carnival. You know, people who travel with the carnival to set it up and stuff and run the exhibits or whatever they call them. I watched a little piece of a video last night about Rammstein's road crew and all what it involves, setting up the stage and the lights and all the stuff. And they were showing, you know, people in the road crew, and I don't know if these are just people that actually travel with them, or if they're just people who are hired, come in at the local level to help. But there were people in the road crew that did not look like people who listened to Rammstein, which I think is it's very strange. When I don't know how you get involved in that sort of work, but isn't it curious that you'd wind up doing work for a band that you'd never listened to? It's like this vogue that's on right now for black people to wear t-shirts featuring bands that I know they never listened to. I've seen people at work wearing Black Sabbath t-shirts. 45-year-old black women wearing Black Sabbath t-shirts. Just, I guess, for the ironic statement. LA Guns? I mean, come on. A friend of mine went to see Def Leppard when I guess it was the first tour they did after the drummer lost his arm. And he said Queensryche opened up for them. And when the Queensryche finished their set, Jeff Tate said to the crowd, Now who do you want to hear now? And my friend said somebody behind him shouted out, LA Guns. Which was, looking back on it, they were a shitty band. All those bands were shitty. It's just unbelievable. Oh, I didn't go through the shit in my bag. That'll take up some time. Hold on a second. Don't pull out in front of me, please. I'm not in the mood. Oh, God. Soon it'll be too dark for me to read the CD cases. Alright, let's see what we got here. First, Michael McDonald, If That's What It Takes. Oh, yes. I have strange tastes. Alright, this is the first album by the second version of Gone. which was Greg Ginn's band outside of Black Flag. And I'm going to give it another shot, even though I think it's kind of lame. And it's kind of lame because there's not many guitar solos. It's just half-ass chord progressions. All right, this is Joni Mitchell's album, Wild Things Run Fast. This is really the first record where she sort of dropped her classic period, I guess you'd say, sound of the 70s and embraced a more modern 80s sound. What's this? This is the Hissing of Summer Lawns, which is her greatest record, really. Arguably my favorite record by her. And this is Dog Eat Dog, which is the album after Wild Things Run Fast. This has a duet on there with Michael McDonald, which is why I got the Michael McDonald album out. And it's so odd because on the one hand, I recognize that the standard stereotyped 80s production sound is very dated and it's very cheesy, but there's something about it that's compelling and repelling at the same time for me. Right around 85, I think that album there is from 85, and it's the funny thing is, this record I think would have been better if it had been done with a more live feel, but the drums are so electronic and so just mechanical. Alright, what's next here? Oh, this is the Cecil Taylor Quartet, Looking Ahead. Cecil Taylor was an avant-garde jazz pianist. He died about 10 years ago, I think. And this record, if I recall correctly, is out there, but it's not as out there as his later stuff. I can't think of the name of some of the really crazy ones. I'll tell you a little anecdote about him. I got to pull ahead of this Cadillac. Hold on a second. Okay, 20 years ago or so, Ken Burns came out with his jazz documentary, which was just terrible because he had taken as his musical advisors people like Stanley Crouch, who is a jazz purist, and he's somebody that believes, he's a person who believes that jazz is specifically a black person's art form, and that only black people can play jazz authentically and correctly and all this stuff. And he hold on, I think my nose is too far out in the intersection. People are going to hit me. Yeah. Anyway, in the documentary, we're moving along through the history of jazz, and then we get to the late 60s, early 70s, and we go through the Miles Davis transformation from what can be classified as strictly jazz into jazz funk or jazz rock. And the documentary totally takes the side of the purists and the traditionalists and just shits all over Miles's rock-based work. Now, to bring up Cecil Taylor, they another person that they used in the documentary to color the attitudes on display is Branford Marsalis, and they feature a quote by Cecil Taylor, which is he says, I can't remember the quote exactly, but basically he says, if somebody comes to one of my shows, when people come to see me play, they need to prepare themselves. They need to familiarize themselves with my work and how I play so that they can understand what I'm doing when they come see me. Now they play that quote, and then immediately after that they cut to Branford Marsalis saying bullshit. Well, it's not bullshit. Somebody is basically warning you, I'm not going to play what you're expecting from a jazz pianist. So, prepare yourself, studying my work in advance. I don't want to get into all this, but it's just ridiculous. I mean, you can make the argument, that's not jazz, and maybe you have a point. But as Miles Davis said, is it music? Why does it have to be specifically this term, and why does it have to conform? Why does that term have to be specifically applied to just this and nothing more? Oh, it's so stupid. All right, what else is in the bag? This is David Gilmour's first solo record. It's really, really good. It's got this, I don't know how you describe it, flat, dry sound. Oh, and this is, what's this guy's name? I can't read it. Hold on. This is, Dave Gahan. He's the singer for Depeche Mode. This is one of his solo records. And that should be it. Hold on a second. No, what's this? Oh, this is the last Ghost record, Impera, which I didn't like. But I brought it anyway to give it another shot. The reason I brought it is because I saw a Ghost video last night, which wasn't a music video. It was some sort of 60-second long little film of Tobias coming out, going into this beach house and talking to somebody. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. I think it's just about run its course. I guess they're planning on some new, maybe it's just promotion for the tour they're on, but I don't know. To me, in a lot of ways, it's like Kiss, when Kiss got so big and so popular that children were coming to the concerts in makeup with their parents. And it became a cartoony thing and a family entertainment thing. And I think Ghost is getting so popular for the wrong reasons. It's just a show. And I know it's all showbiz and entertainment and all that crap, but there really needs to be a kernel of art and artistic integrity if I'm going to enjoy it anyway. It's one of the reasons I don't go to the circus. Even if it's the stupidest of premises, you have to present that premise with conviction. And if you let the cat out of the bag and reveal that, it's all show business and I don't really give a shit, well, then why should I give a shit? Oh, goodness. And besides which, the record I'm talking about, the last one there, I just thought it was weak musically. If they want to be Styx, if they want to be Journey, fine. But the songs aren't there. It's just mediocre. Same problem I had with the last Rammstein album. I just thought it was, oh well, time to do another album. Let's just get out the playbook. You know, these are the standard rules. Put the formula together, and there you go. It's a Rammstein song. No. All right, I think we're about at the end of the episode here. Hold on a second. All right. So that's about it. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.